Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 2018 Lakeside World Championships, and we now introduce a preliminary round match here at the home of World Darts, the Lakeside. We welcome to the stage our USA regional qualifier, the reigning Las Vegas Open champion, from Tennessee, Chainsaw Joe Chaney.
Yeah, they like the way I do this. When I crank it like a T-Wow. Yeah, they like the way I do this. When I crank it like a T-Wow. Full throttle, heavy metal, set the bar next level. Red slang, getting all ready, so low. T-Wow. Let go with metal back, it's fucking it's like a trash. So from all this sweat, catch my breath.
We now bring to the stage the Lakeside World Championship finalist, the reigning Finder Darts Masters champion. He's Dutch, he's Noppert, Danny Noppert!
Let's join our commentators Paul Nicholson and first John Rawling.
Thank you. Danny Noppert made a lot of friends here last year with that wonderful run to the final. At his best, he is a very good-looking player indeed. And we've heard about the personal tragedy, the death of his mother on New Year's Eve, and he says that coming here, he will be playing with an angel on his shoulder. Danny Noppert, 27 years old, Dutchman, with 4 BDO ranking titles to his name. 7 Dutchmen in the tournament this year. And looking to become the 4th Dutchman to win the title, following Raymond van Barneveld, Jelle Klaassen and Christian Kist. And as you see, runner-up last year. Joe Chaney, the chainsaw from Chattanooga, home of the choo-choo. Harrison's kind of part of Chattanooga. I did ask him, what about chainsaw? And he said, well, I won't try to imitate his accent, suffice to say it's deep south. He said, my old boy, my dad had the nickname Chainsaw, so he's part of a line of chainsaws.
Put it this way, John, I'm not going to argue with him. He's a little bit bigger than me.
He works on the maintenance department of the South Bell Riverboat Company. Fiancée Sandy will be keeping in touch of his progress.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First leg, it's Joe to throw first. Game on.
And Joe Chaney, at 42, the older man by 15 years. He has the darts.
I'll tell you what, John, I was watching his walk-on very, very closely.
70.
And only wrestling fans would have got what he did on stage. He gave it the full Diamond Dallas Page movement, the DDP Diamond Cutter. And that goes to show he's deep south and he's a wrestling fan.
140.
Big time wrestling in Tennessee. Nashville is big wrestling country. So, good dart player, obviously, being a Las Vegas Open champion. But a wrestling fan too. I like the guy already.
41.
Not too many people in darts are big wrestling fans. Paul Nicholson, certainly one of them.
Mark Webster is as well. He's got the action figures to prove it. Former Lakeside champion Webby.
Please.
10 years ago when Webby won the title. 10 years ago, can you believe that?
Well, who's going to get first success in this match? Best of 5 sets, of course. You know the format by now.
140.
He's the second favourite to win this tournament, Danny Noppert. Second only to Glenn Durrant.
He's in the prelims, interestingly enough, but stylish player, Danny Noppert.
Well, if he comes through, and he's a big favourite to win this match, of course, if he comes through, then he'd face the Welshman Richie Edwards in round 1, and the winner of that would then go on to Mark McGeaney.
Interesting route. I don't think Danny Noppert has any fear for anybody right now. He's playing, like you said, with that angel on his shoulder. I think he's going to be inspired this week. I'm not really sure how he's doing this, because if I was in his position, I'm not sure I could play it. I'm inspired just seeing him on stage. I'm such a big fan of Danny Noppert's game. Great action, great mentality, really mentally strong on the hockey. Does a lot of things right. Right now he's got a great chance of taking the first leg.
Chaney toyed with the idea of switching away from that 20 then, but elected not to do so. Well, that's a loose first dart, so he's 106 now. Cogs turning. It's a good second dart. Thinks.
67.
Well, that's not a bad lead.
So you require 94.
Which way will Chainsaw go for 94? Is he going to go for the ball?
I think he did.
92 remain. He's got double 16 for the leg.
78.
Only just outside, so he scared it. Danny's got tops, 3 darts in hand. Only needs the one. And sends a message, not just to Joe Chaney, but to the audience and us, with a dart that's right in the middle of the segment. Looking good for the Dutchman.
Runner-up in the Hal Open in 2017, won the Finder Darts Masters as well, had a succession of good results there, and beat Jim Williams in the final. Runner-up at Lakeside as well, of course.
And he played well when he won that tournament about a month ago. Watched a lot of darts that week. Jim Williams was playing the darts of his life when he averaged 110 in the quarterfinals against Glenn Durrant. But ultimately Danny Noppert was too good.
75.
You see from that replay that he gets an unfortunate bounce off the dart that's in the treble 5. Consequently, the dart is on the floor, so he doesn't get any points for it.
He's the American BDO qualifier, the USA BDO qualifier is Big Joe Chaney. Won the Las Vegas Open, beat Joe Huffman in the final there, and beat Larry Butler. We've seen him over here in previous years in the Carmelia Classic. Played over here in the British Classic as well in Bridlington earlier last summer, of course. Lost 4-0 to Tony O'Shea.
No shame in that whatsoever. But
Tony said he played better than
4-0.
But reaching the last 32 of that British Classic, that's not an easy thing to do. A lot of good players go into that bunch of events where the British Open was on as well, and the World Masters. But it's all about Noppert in this game so far.
90 he's looking for, and he's got the bull for tops. Double 10 for a nice clean clear up, which he does. A 15 darter. Thank you very much. It's 2-0.
Third leg, it's Joe to throw first. Game on.
So much to admire about the Danny Noppert throw. When he burst onto the circuit last year, everybody expected big things from him, and he delivers.
78.
Such a consistent thrower with a metronomic action. Has a little prod to the board and then throws straight through with aggression. And more often than not, he gets a big score.
85.
Some exasperation from hitting a 5 there. He won't be happy with that.
He started well though. He's averaging 96, Paul. 2 out of 3 doubles. It's a tidy performance so far. And Big Joe's a little bit on the receiving end. Chainsaw is receiving it. He kind of raised an eyebrow when I said, I presume you're trying to produce a bit of a massacre here tonight. I'll certainly be hoping that he's not on the receiving end of one.
No. No, I'd rather be on the end of a massacre. Nowhere near it. But Danny Noppert, last season, when he made the final, he was averaging around the 95 mark for the entire tournament. And that's what we expect from him. Consistency in an action that you can't see much going wrong with it, quite frankly. And he's proving it right now.
And we saw, didn't we, in the little montage in the run-up to the match, those impressive performances that he produced in fighting his way through into the final, beating Scott Waits, the defending champion, Darryl Fitton as well. Oh, good darts, 8-8 for a 136. Oh, just the wrong side of the wire.
Well, the Gulf of Mexico is not far from Tennessee, but that's about the size of the distance between these two players, average-wise and standard-wise right now. An average of 65 for Chaney to Noppert of 105.
2-2 for the opening set. And that's not lying nicely. Blocking a fair part of the bed. And so he'll have to wait, but he's got time on his side.
Well, for the American, who does resemble Butterbean, he's going to have to start punching in the next set because it looks like this one's over. Madhouse for Noppert.
You can tell him he looks like Butterbean. Butterbean's about 25 stones or more.
Said he looked like him, but I'll definitely tell him from about 100 metres.
Yeah, well,
133 if he hits it.
Get your running spikes on. 1-1 then for the opening set. This time surely. Oh, not to be. Well, suddenly that stratospheric Noppert average is in nosedive. Double 10. He's into the match. That'll settle him down. Shouldn't have won that leg, but did.
It's one of those crazy legs you just can't believe that Danny managed to lose it. And his response is perfect. That's what we expect from the Dutchman.
Waving happily to the crowd, who respond in kind.
95.
The worst 3 either, but there's that maximum.
What he would give for another one, John.
Absolutely. What we'd all give. It's looking likely now. Fill it up. Oh, put the kibosh on it.
That's all my fault. At the PDC World Championships, we had a couple of close calls. Phil Taylor missed double 12 in the final.
Yeah, how close was that?
Paul Lim missed double 12 against Gary Anderson in the second round, which was one of the most amazing moments I've ever witnessed on a dartboard. 27 years after hitting one on this stage against Jack McKenna. I wish he'd hit that double 12. It would have been such a great story.
Well, he's on 121 now, Noppert. And Chaney a long way back, so big favourite now in this leg to tie up the opening sets. 121. Looking for treble 20 with the opening dart. Oh, he's not. He's gone the bull route. So treble 20 for double 18. That's kind of a Dutch idiosyncrasy.
It's one of those Dutch ways of getting to a double, or getting to the end of a leg. The most important thing is that he now comes back for double 8 to take the set and be 1-0 up.
That's a good marker. Doesn't have to adjust his stance. And slots it nicely in. Takes the opening set and Danny Noppert, the runner-up last year, had a little bit of double trouble after starting so impressively. He's only had 3 out of 11, averaging over 90, and by and large looking as though he's brought a pretty solid game here to Lakeside, and he leaves the stage having taken the opening set against Joe Chaney.
Welcome back everyone to Lakeside, where the atmosphere's building nicely on this opening day already. We've seen Justin Thompson in the men's preliminary round putting out Chris Gilliland to take his place in the first round. Dieter Hedman's through to the quarterfinals on the women's side of things. Danny Noppert with some fine darts has taken the first set against Joe Chaney, and a little bit later on we'll have the 2015 champion Scott Mitchell taking on Darius Labanauskas. Right now though, back to the Chaney Noppert match and our commentators Paul and John.
Thank you very much. Nice performance from Danny Noppert so far. Looking as though he's taking on where he left off last year. Very solid sort of game.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Second set, first leg. It's Danny to throw first. Game on.
Danny with the darts, and away we go. Actually jumped the gun slightly, didn't he?
Can't wait to get to the hockey, and why not? We love a bit of enthusiasm.
It was Glenn Miller who
58.
did that Chattanooga choo-choo tune, wasn't it? That's a difficult one to say. You've got to be stone cold sober to say that.
Before my time, John.
Well, it's before my time as well, you monkey.
100.
Good darts. Second maximum. I know I go back a year or two, but not to 1941.
Only 21, John.
45.
Danny Noppert keeps playing like this, he might be getting more than 21 180s in this championship. From what I've seen so far, he's in pretty good nick.
There'll been a few who'll have had a little dabble on Noppert to win this one 3-0. And the money is looking as though it could be a fairly decent investment at the moment.
I have to agree. The average of Noppert at 95 right now, and that's with
Danny, you require 121.
an amazing amount of doubles missed in one of the legs.
This is makeable, 121. Goes the bullseye route again. Treble 20 is looking for. Double 18 now. That's how you see it. Beautiful. Beautifully done.
Yeah, that is a work of art from a very gifted dart player. Here's to say I think Danny Noppert is playing as well right now as anybody has all day.
100.
Gary Robson played exceptionally well in the first 2 sets, but that 121 checker from Noppert was special.
He's potentially a very, very high-level darts player, Danny Noppert.
39.
Raymond van Barneveld, he did it on 4 occasions. 98, 99, 2003 and 2005 here. Jelle Klassen in 2006.
81.
Christian Kist in 2012. And Danny Noppert is a name, well, you tell me, but I think he's a name who deserves to be ranked, if not quite at that level yet, certainly not very far behind.
Definitely got the potential. The mechanics are brilliant.
100.
The head is right. He doesn't overcomplicate the game. The recipe is potentially Michelin-starred, in my opinion. And coming from a darting nation
100.
of heavyweights, he is not lost among those heavyweights.
Well, you can watch yourself side on that style of Danny Noppert.
Brilliant.
Not a lot of movement in the throw of Joe Chaney either. There's a bit of a twist in the grip. And a very prominent index finger. Really does sling them in there. But the thing to admire with Danny Noppert is just straight back and forward. eliminates all the possibilities of mistakes.
100.
Another solid ton.
160.
Noppert on 128. Chaney looking for 160. No way this time.
If you can't get the 60 with the first start, just try leave it as short as you can. But 128 for Danny Noppert is tricky. Needs 2 trebles if he gets the first one.
And he's not done, so treble 20 to leave bullseye.
Well, that is very handy, because that leaves double 18. Now Chaney needs this to stay in the set. Treble 20. Might go 2 double tops potentially. Nope, he was going for the 60, but he was nowhere near that either, unfortunately.
So double 18 for 2-0. Beautifully done. He's looking in very good nick here tonight. He's averaging nearly 96, and he had that spell where he was missing all those doubles. He's missed 8 doubles, and that dragged his average way down. If he'd continued to throw his doubles as he had done earlier on, he'd have been in ton-plus sort of form here.
Absolutely right, John. Interestingly enough, the first 9 average as well for Noppert is almost 40 ahead. That's a different hemisphere, never mind a different league. You can't average 68.5 for your first 9 darts and expect to get lots of shots at doubles against a quality player of Noppert.
Looks as though he's imbibed a bit of paint, that lad, didn't he?
He's in the red paint as Noppert.
140.
Very gutted he didn't get the last 60 there.
7 140 plus, 2 180s to add to it. And poor old Joe Chaney hasn't got 140 plus yet.
Just hasn't happened for the American. Very much like it didn't happen for Tom Sawyer last year on stage. But Noppert has got to keep his focus, his concentration.
78.
Gary Robson earlier on in his prelim game did admit that he got a little bit bored when he was so far ahead. Danny can't afford to do that.
What do you make of this style then? No, that's the style we're talking about, I think. I'd venture to suggest that's, what should we say, statuesque?
Quite robotic when
Liquid.
the robot's been switched off.
100.
Remind me not to have one of whatever he's had.
Fear to think. Joe Chaney, very solid on the hockey.
85.
Doesn't seem like he's got a game plan to get the darts closer together to score heavier. But Noppert, 126 points away.
Oh, it's on again. Another big finish. Double 6 now. How about that? 126, he's flying.
Third set, first leg, it's Joe to throw.
He's on a mission tonight, is Nobby.
Sending out a message.
Just a bit. 1 year on from making the final. Who would back against him doing it again?
Well, Mark McGeaney will have other ideas. He's waiting for him potentially in the second round. And Richie Edwards will have other ideas as well. He's waiting for him if he comes through this, but he looks in great shape tonight.
You've got to think that the upper hand will be with Nobby for a couple of reasons.
140.
One, he's known for quite some time that he was going to be playing this week. Richie Edwards only got in the tournament a few days ago because of an illness to James Hurrell.
81.
We hope James is okay and we wish him well. But Noppert is used to this stage, so you've got to back him.
Thrives on it, doesn't he?
Steely eyes. It's easy to get focused on where the darts are landing on the left side of the screen, but I like to look at the players' expressions as the things happen. But Noppert, steely determination in those eyes.
96.
Let's have a look again and see what Paul Nicholson's on about. Take a look at the eyes of Danny Noppert.
Just doesn't take his eye off the target. Focus is brilliant.
Very impressive visit once more. On 170.
There's only one person in the draw who would beat him in a stare-off, and that's Richard Veenstra.
158 is the best checkout of the tournament so far. Is it going to be 170? Treble 20 for bullseye. Oh, unlucky. It just deflected off the first dart.
I thought he was going to hit that, you know. I really did. And he gave that second dart plenty of juice. It's too much, in fact. He'll be coming back for 89. Take the first leg of the third set. He's cruising right now.
Not quite sure. Moment of indecision. Resets. And stays where he was and resets very well.
That was Joe Chaney's first 140 of the contest. Well timed. Will he be back though?
For the opening leg of the third set, just checking the score, 89. .20 would leave bullseye.
64. Joe, you require 100.
Can get a leg here.
Got to get the 60. Can't see the treble 20 now, but he's managed to find it anyway. Double 10.
90.
Only just missed. And the one double he has it in the match was double 10, but misses it this time. And Noppy's back for one and double 12.
Here he goes for the opening leg. And takes it. Impressive again. Maximising just about every opportunity he's had.
He is indeed. Just again, I'm looking at that steely-eyed look. Marvel at the way he plays the game. I'm a big fan. As he goes for another 180. 140 he'll have to settle for. But look at the amount of grip on the points of Danny Noppert. Rings all over the place. There's no chance his fingers are going to slip on those things.
A lot of history around Chattanooga. Joe Chaney would like to be a part of it from a sporting perspective, but it doesn't look as though it's going to happen now.
There's a famous guy who lives in Nashville, which isn't too far from Chattanooga.
A few famous guys from Nashville.
He's in the wrestling business. He's a huge darts fan. A guy called Jeremy Borash. He's the commentator on TNA wrestling.
100.
And he used to come over to the UK all the time and come to the darts. If you're watching Jeremy, hope you're enjoying the action, but your countryman's not doing too well, I'm afraid.
Are you one of these people who thinks wrestling's a proper sport?
No, it's not real.
Right.
It's like a men's soap opera.
I'm just trying to make sure where you stood on this, whether you really were giving it a pissle from Planet Bonkers.
57.
Talking of which,
there's Jackie. He's a little bit bonkers, but we love him for it. He's got more hats than Elizabeth Taylor.
He doesn't miss too many. He doesn't miss too many tournaments, I tell you that. Don't know who his sponsor is, but he certainly puts himself about, doesn't he?
Danny's playing brilliantly in this leg. Double 19. Not sure if he'll go straight for it. He doesn't have to. He's going to go straight for it.
I think he is. There you go. Look at that.
So aggressive. So brilliant.
Dart.
Third leg, it's Joe to throw first.
We've seen some good darts today. I think this is the performance of the day for me.
Agreed. I think he had the performance of the first round last year. This is not an accident. Danny Noppert is not an accident. Really looking forward to him in the next round because he's going to take care of business here. But you've got to give credit to Joe Chaney. He's not going to give up. Got his second 140 in the last visit. But Danny Noppert's even better.
Number 3, third maximum. And Danny Noppert is getting better and better as the finishing line draws nearer.
100.
Funnily enough, when Joe Chaney starts to relax and start hitting scores, Danny Noppert just can't stop missing. Commentator's curse right there.
80.
shake of the head. You don't have to be a great studier of human body language to know what was in the back of his mind. The magical 9-darter. Would you want at Lakeside?
49.
28 years ago it was.
Seen one or two go very close, notably Wolf here a year or two back. Martin Adams an early defeat here against Mark McGeaney earlier on.
121.
Deciding leg in a real cliffhanger, the first match of the entire competition.
Not a bad way to start a tournament, is it, with a sudden death game?
No, it wasn't the shabbiest, was it? Now it could be all over here. Shanghai. Treble, single, double. Now he needs a treble. No, he got a treble, but not the right one.
That leaves him 85. He can still leave double top.
50.
70 left. Joe Chaney's got a great opportunity here to get a leg, but he needs a treble 20. Needs to somehow find it, left or right of that. Can't. So Danny should get at least one dart at a double now for the match.
70 to go through to the first round. Single 12 would leave tops. Double top for the match.
50.
Not this time.
Joe, you require 60.
Joe's not going to get a better opportunity to cut this tree down. Chainsaw style, double top. I think that's it at 20. That
40.
definitely hasn't hit double 10. Just
that.
hasn't been his night.
Dragged that south of the double by about an inch and a half. So double 10 for the match. Also a bit of a nervy one. Double 5. Nobody likes this. And now it's in bits.
No score.
And now it's bust.
Joe, you require 20.
For only his second leg of the match. Joe Chaney said double 6, which leaves double 4. That is in. Bit of an exhibition shot, that one. I guarantee it wasn't intentional.
Brilliant opener from Noppert. His 11th 140 plus. Got those 3 maximums as well. Sorry, Paul.
Even though he's missed doubles there,
140.
you just get the feeling that it's only a matter of time before he closes this out.
Oh, it's got to be.
Give Chaney some credit though. He's starting to get a little bit better.
Well, he's in Last Chance Saloon, isn't he? He's the pressure's off in a way because he can't lose here. He's just got an opportunity where he's got to go for everything and maybe just give us a tantalising glimpse of what might have been.
That's right. Chris Mason's just been in our commentary box talking about the action of Joe Chaney and says it reminds him of Larry Butler, someone that Joe knows very well, as he beat him in a final of a tournament this year. But
he'll have played with him many, many times. Larry's been around a good few years, hasn't he?
94 World Match Play champion, Winmar World Masters finalist last couple of years.
Good darts again. So 161, it can be done, but it's unlikely. It can still be done. He needs a bullseye for the match. And the best clearance, the best check out, but it wasn't to be.
Great effort from Danny Noppert. 40 less required for Chaney, needs a treble 17. Got to think that Danny's going to go for 1 and double 12 now.
I would reckon.
Danny, you require 25.
Been messing about with 9. There's the 1, double 12. This is for it for 3-0. Double 6. And still, 13. The double is elusive. Only 8 out of 24.
Joe, you require 68.
All of a sudden, things get a bit slippery if Joe Chaney hits double 10. 2 10s. It's still open. It's there. 2-2 in this third set. Noppert can't believe it.
And suddenly, this is the nature of darts, it can change so quickly. He's got the throw now to win this set.
He has indeed. Been a very strange set, John. Missed darts for the match. Snatchy darts just like that one from Joe.
41.
Annoyed with himself there, just lost concentration. I don't know if he heard something in the crowd, but you've got to block all that out.
You do, and that's experience. Experience that Danny has and what Joe does not, because it's his debut here.
140.
Another big visit. Average is still around the 96 mark, Danny Noppert.
Now, looking at the stance of Joe Chaney,
100.
I actually agree with Chris Mason. The stance is very reminiscent of Larry Butler. Strong right leg, but then the left leg bends around the body.
Larry Butler, another very good American player,
96.
the United States.
Curling around that leg there.
Just pirouettes slightly, doesn't he, in the sort of Mensur Suljevic kind of way.
Ever so graceful, isn't it? Danny's a little bit more conventional.
When you've described him as Butterbean, I hesitate to use the phrase light-footed, but he certainly moves
95.
with grace for a big man.
Well, moving on to a 170 checkout is Danny Noppert for the match, and that would give him at least a share of £5,000 if he can hit it.
95. Danny, you require 170.
Well, here we go. He's had one good effort at this already. Now, once more. It's the wrong side of the wire. Chaney breathes again. Nice setup, though.
98.
Yeah, good darts from Danny Noppert. When he comes back, I feel he'll probably go for treble 16 for double 12. Pressure needed from Chaney. Otherwise, he's going to be on the next flight out. Good darts, though.
Great last start, wasn't it?
72.
So Noppert, 72. Well, he went for that treble 16. 16 would leave tops. Oh, he's missed it. 7, he was going for the big 16, and he's got a 7.
Chaney, all of a sudden,
32.
is a one treble visit
Joe, you
combo
require 130.
away from taking the set against Danny Noppert. Needs a treble 20, gets it. 13, hit right in the middle, tops for the set. Oh, and it's shy.
93.
Noppert comes back to sew it up.
Has it all ended there for the American Danny Noppert? Tops he needs, tops he gets, and he's closed it out. Last year's beaten finalist played really impressively here this evening. Joe Chaney just couldn't really match him. He battled away, but couldn't get himself a set. And Danny Noppert, with an average of nearly 95, his doubles at times just let him down a wee bit. But it was an impressive performance, and one which suggests that he can go a long way, go deep into this tournament in 2018. He has beaten Joe Chaney 3-0.